And welcome back to the Daily Wrap, everybody. I am Joe Concha, live from New York City. Well, the IRS, guess what? They're back in the news. And just when I thought I was done, just when I thought I was out, wait, I'm forgetting the line here. Well, I'll just let Michael Corleone handle this one.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
That was it. Otherwise, needless sequel, Godfather 3, released 14 years after Godfather 2, which was the greatest sequel of all time, and they put out 3 because somebody needed some money. Anyway, according to The Hill, as we get back on our script, the White House has refused a Freedom of Information request that publication, The Hill, requesting more than 500 documents related to the IRS targeting of the Tea Party groups. We've heard about that before. The Hill was interested in emails from 2013 as well as other correspondence. They specifically sought emails from former IRS official Lois Lerner, who is probably on a beach right now earning 20%, and Treasury officials, including Secretary Jack Lew. The Treasury Secretary General, however, has refused to release those 512 documents, citing exemptions from the law. The Hill, the publication, lost a follow-up appeal. Wow, go figure. And here's what The Hill wants to know. Will anyone be charged? Who knew what and when? Sounds very Nixonian. Heather, at this point of the Obama presidency, why not just release those emails?
Well, it makes you wonder, right? Because not only do they not release them, but then they had the document dump this week where they dumped 86,000 other documents on them. It really, and to quote another movie, follow the money and you'll find the corruption from all the president's men.
Very good.
Here, you've got the part of our government that's responsible for the money that's hiding things and giving reasons that just make no sense. They're saying it's personal privacy is one of the exemptions. Another is law enforcement. There's no criminal pursuit going on right now. So there's nothing to happen that should make these exemptions happen. It makes you wonder, and I don't know the answer.
Why is it whenever it comes to the IRS and we want to get information, hard drives are destroyed or things are lost or learners on vacation?
You don't believe those emails were lost? No?
It's very hard to lose an email these days.
Give me a show of hands. Who here believes that the IRS did something wrong in this matter?
No doubt.
We're going up with that.
We all agree with that.
Okay.
Right? Who here believes the White House was involved?
Only.
Not sure. Okay, 2. So here's the reality of this. It doesn't matter what documents are released. You are always going to believe what you're going to believe. The fact of the matter is there is a legal basis for protecting certain documents, not unlike attorney-client. Well, they're saying that they are. And by the way, it wasn't the White House. You can attribute it to the White House. It was the same Treasury Inspector General who started all of this in the first place. So a guy who was an honest man when he was testifying to Congress is making these calls about not releasing these 500 out of 86,000 documents.
No, separate ones. And the thing is, just because they claim an exemption doesn't mean it exists. Right now, we've got a
take
whole
it to court.
Well, but it should, because we've got a whole separate, typical, similar argument going on about some pictures after 9/11, some of the detainees, and the exemptions that the government has claimed there are being held not to be.
For that.
Right, but that procedure has to be done here because it does make a difference, and transparency is important, and we need to have. I mean, that's what the Freedom of Information Act is for.
And until the procedure plays out, and I agree with you completely, what do we have to presume?
Wow.
Well, let me just say,
Jonathan, perfect segue.
Let me just say this, okay? Here's another movie quote for you. You can't handle the truth from A Few Good Men, all right?
1991.
That's right. So the truth is, when you work in government, you give up your rights.
That's not true.
When you work in the government, you give up your rights of. I'm not saying all your rights, but your rights of certain protections of emails that are public knowledge, that are part of the government. You don't have a right to hold those. It's not my emails. I'm talking about the government emails, your work emails. Those belong to the government. Yeah. So here's the point I'm trying to make with this. They don't have the right to not have those hard drives available. They don't have the right to withhold this information for the reasons that they are saying. When they're saying that these things are classified, when they're saying and then lying and saying that they're lost, what that's telling me as an investigator that they're lying, then they're minimizing the problem. Just like Brian Williams on NBC, there's a problem here. And when I'm saying they don't have the rights, that's government property. And we're allowing executives to take these rules and bend them.
Are you saying there are no circumstances where a government official should not not be sharing a private email with the public, you're a
You give
military.
up that right.
Really?
You give up that right when you work for the government.
So if I file a freedom of
If you
information,
want a private email, go get a private email.
If I want to file a freedom of information request asking for the location of the next bombing site in Iran, the government is obligated to give it to me.
When I say you're a part of the
same
government,
thing.
you're a part of the government, and so the government is overwatching itself. Those are not your emails; those belong to the government.
Right, and what they're saying
And
is
the
these are
investigators,
protected, and we're not going to turn them over.
But the investigators don't have access
By
to
the way,
them, and that's
it's the
criminal.
Hill that's asking for it, not even another government branch.
they're not-
And
it's a newspaper.
unfortunately, we have to end it there. I'm just so happy that everybody threw in a movie line at some point. A Few Good Men. We had all the President's Men. A lot of men
But
movies
you were
going on.
absolutely right about the sequel being the best sequel
That's
ever.
true. Coming up next, it's Political Potluck. It's the Daily Wrap only on Newsmax TV.